Hello Goenkans, hope you are doing good. We have to go through water cycle. You have already done this in your grade 6, but let me recapitulate few important points. It's on page number 196 on your textbook. Water cycle. We know water exists in three forms: solid, liquid, and gas. The solid form is snow or ice, and it is present as snow on the snow-covered mountains. You will find it on glaciers. You will find it on ice caps at the poles of the earth. Then if we talk about liquid water, it is present in oceans, lakes, rivers, and even underground. Fine. Word itself implies what it is. Underground. That is, under the ground you will find water, and that water is very useful for us. We call it underground water. Then there is one more form of water, what we call gaseous form. It's present in the air around us in the form of water vapor. And there is continuous cycling of water among its three forms, that is solid, liquid, and gaseous form. And it keeps this cycling keeps the total amount of water on the earth constant. That's why we don't feel dearth of water. There is a continuous cycling of water, what we call water cycle, which you have already studied in grade 6. So you will write it, whatever you know about water cycle, you will write it on your science notebooks. Plus, you will draw a beautiful, well-labeled diagram of it. Fine. Our main topic is underground water, water table, infiltration, aquifer. What does this mean? Underground water is the water which is present under the ground, isn't it? So there are people, especially rural people, they make use of this underground water. There are a large number of people who draw water from wells, tube wells, and hand pumps. Now the question is, where from this water comes? What is the source of this water? It is the groundwater. It is the underground water. If we dig a hole in the ground near a water body, we may find that the soil is moist. The moisture in the soil indicates the presence of water underground. If you're digging you're digging a ground, you're finding this soil moist, one should understand that there is water, what we call underground water. And if we dig deeper and deeper, we would reach a level where all the space between the particles and soil and gaps between soils are filled with water. And this is called water table. Let me give you proper definition of water table. Water table is also called groundwater table. Fine? Groundwater table. It is the upper layer of an underground surface. Upper layer of the underground surface. When you are digging, you're finding a underground surface, the uppermost layer of that underground surface in which the soil or rocks are permanently saturated with water. Fine. If there are gaps in between, they are permanently saturated with water. We call that water table. I hope it's clear. So water table varies from place to place, and it may even change at a given place. The water table may be at a depth of less than a meter or maybe several meters below the ground. So it varies from place to place. If we are digging it in, for example, we are digging a hole in Lal Bazaar, maybe it takes us, we have to dig it very deep, then only we will find groundwater. If we are digging a hole in Sora area, for example, just after digging for a meter or 2 meters, you will find water. So the water table varies from place to place. I hope you got me. The water found below the water table is called groundwater. And this is the water which we obtain from wells, tube wells, hand pumps. Fine. Now the question is, what is the source of this groundwater? Where from it comes? The rainwater and water from other sources such as rivers and ponds seeps through the soil and fills the empty spaces and cracks deep below the ground. It oozes into the fine, it goes into the soil and fills the spaces, cracks, etc. are in between, spaces are in between, isn't it? So it fills it there. The process of seeping of water into the ground is called infiltration. Soil absorbs this rainwater, soil absorbs this, water, and that is known as infiltration. The groundwater thus gets recharged by this process because, see, rains we have. Every now and then we have rainfall, isn't it? So that rain goes into the soil, gets absorbed there, and that is what we call groundwater, and it gets recharged this way. Once there is rainfall, the groundwater gets recharged. And at places, the groundwater is stored between layers of hard rocks below the water table. That is known as aquifer. Water in the aquifers can be usually pumped out with the help of tube wells, hand pumps, etc. That is below the water table. You will find water that is known as aquifer. I hope it's clear to you. There are two questions which are related to this groundwater and the water table, etc. One question is, that's question number 2 on your textbook, page number 203. Question is, explain how groundwater is recharged. I discussed that in the lecture. You will write it in your own words how it is recharged. This is the question number 3rd on the very same page 203. Question is, there are 10 tube wells in a lane of 50 houses. What would be the long-term impact on the water table? Again, it's related to water table. You will write it. Then there is question number 4. You are already done with that. It was, you have been asked to maintain a garden. How will you minimize the use of water? That was your yesterday's assignment. Then there is 5th question. Explain the factors responsible for the depletion of water table. So you have to explain the factors which are responsible for the, if water table is depleting, what are the factors responsible for it? Try to write it in points. I hope I am clear. Take good care of yourself, going cons. Stay safe, stay indoors. Bye bye. Have a nice time.